Hello, my loves. Right, sorry for the delay in videos. I've got COVID. I'm on the way out of it though. So I've got my Eliana hand today and I'm attaching my TX Elite coffin tips. These come in packs of 600. So there's a lot of tips in there and it's less than £10. And I'll put them in the description box. I'll put the link. On the thumb, I did, initially I buffed the tip to, oh God, my chest, to apply the other tip, but I didn't need to. I did the rest fine. So I've just sized them up and I just made a couple of minor adjustments because the skin on the Eliana hand is very, very soft. And I just didn't want the corners of the tips to kind of push in. So I just trimmed them down a little bit. So, as you can see, that's what they normally look like. And that's where I've trimmed it down. And I'm just going to pop them on like so. So I will rest my lungs and just show you me attaching some tips to the Eliana hand. Oh, I'll try and remember to put in the description box the type of hand I have, but it's the Anais and it's posable and it's in the shade Winter, which is a very nice colour, I think. And I'm just going to do the same on all the fingers. So just attach the tips nice and gently like I would on a normal person. The different thing I do here is I apply a clear base before I file, before I shape them. And that's only because I've attached them to a practice hand, I can't feel the kind of strength and how well stuck they are. So I like to just do it to secure them a little bit more. If it was on a person, yeah, I might do it, I might not. I don't know. This vibe for this set has been in my head since I fell ill with COVID and I haven't been well enough to do the nails. So I'm so glad I've got it out of my head and onto a hand. It's romantic French and ombre with some opal in there and flowers and crystals and just all good stuff. Really, really nice. And I love how it turned out. I was so happy to be back doing nails. It's only been I don't know, 6 days, but it feels like an eternity. So I've got Milo with me, so I apologise if he just randomly barks at absolutely nothing, but he's old and bonkers, to be fair. He's absolutely crazy. He just thinks everything's coming in the house. So that's all my clear bases down. I'll show you quickly how I file. To be honest, because I'm so paranoid about damaging this hand, because it is incredibly expensive, I will be very, very careful when I'm filing this. Look how much I'm pulling back the side walls there. So I'm pulling back where the lateral folds are. There we go. And I'm being really gentle and I'm using an old file, not a new sharp one. I do not want to damage this hand. When I actually file the finish filing on the design, I take them out of the hand, and it's just because I just don't want to damage it at all. I'm it's expensive, very expensive. There we go. Use my Ollie brush to get rid of the dust. And then I'm just going to use a bit of isopropyl alcohol on a wipe to kind of, because obviously with silicone hands, dust gets attracted to them. Your best bet when you've finished using it is to give it a nice rinse with warm water, dry it properly and store it away back in the packaging. The packaging they give you is designed to store it nicely. So I'm going in with, I think it's Perfect Pink from Nailmate, and I'm doing a reverse French. I kind of wish I hadn't used Perfect Pink because I feel like the end design is a bit wishy-washy with the French. The pink and the white, I feel like there's not a lot of definition between the two, to be fair. So I probably should have used a darker nail bed colour. That's, my judgment error though. So I'm just forming the extended nail bed, using my brush to kind of shape it round into that elongated opal shape. I also could have and should have gone a bit longer, I think, aesthetically, a bit longer on the nail bed, because these nails are so long. And sometimes if you have a short French on a long nail bed, the proportions don't look right. Obviously it's not a competition set, you can do it however you want, but I feel like I could have extended that French and the proportions would have looked a bit better. But I'm not giving myself too much, you know, I'm not being harsh on myself, because this was my first setback and I have still got COVID. It's so annoying. Oh, and my brush, oh my god, this was my last number 10 Alina acrylic wand, and I've had it for months and months and months, and I absolutely love this brush. And the other day Oliver picked it up and used it to clean out one of his toys, and he was like stubbing it in there and I didn't realise. And when I went to use it, all the bristles were just absolutely trashed. I've tried my best to get it back into shape, but I can feel, you know, when your brush is like an extension of your finger, you can feel something's wrong. So I really struggled. I really struggled to use it. It just didn't feel right. I feel like he got something in it. No matter how much I cleaned it, it was sticky. It was odd. It was really odd. And the bristles of like where he's shoved it down into something, they're not as crisp. They haven't joined together beautifully like they normally do. They're like splaying and damaged. And I don't know what I'm going to do because I haven't got another one. I don't have any more. And I'm sad. I discontinued it because I wanted to work on a new brush design, but I haven't got round to it yet. So I'm going to have to just buy myself a new brush from somewhere else, and I don't know what to do. I'm sad. Don't be afraid, like I've just done there. If your French is just missing a tiny bit, it happens. Just add a little bit more. You don't have to be perfect. This is about the end result, not how you get there. Okay, so I'm going to do the final bit there because I want to build my apex up. I don't want to have to do that with clear. I would recommend using like a clear with a hint of pink, like a sheer. That looks really good on a nail bed, and it also gives it less of a plastic look. So you kind of you build your apex with that. So you do your extended smile line with a solid nude, and then you go over with a sheer pink, and it looks really nice. But I don't have one. Not in this system anyway. Got one in Gem's system, but I've run out of monomer for that. Right. Make sure that's nice and secure. Onto the thumb, and I'm going to do an ombre nail. So I'm applying Blizzard White. Now, in comparison, because I recently used the Gems system, I would say the Gems White is a bit easier to work with. It's not as sticky. So that's a good comparison to make. I'm not bashing this one. I've used it forever and it's really good for 3D as well. Really good. But yeah, the other one's just not quite as sticky. But this has got good pigmentation, so I'm able to work with it really thin. There was like a lumpy bit in there. I must have like had a hard bit in there from something, maybe dropping a bit of monomer in there previously and not realising. But yeah, it's pigmented, so it means I can work really thin. And I'll just kind of make sure that at the tip of the nail has got the most product. And then I'm turning my brush and feathering it back so that gradually that white becomes thinner and thinner. And that's the key to the ombre. Don't do a solid line of white. You need to put the white down. I'll show you again on here. Brush that bead back and feather it so that it thins out as it goes up the nail, so that you can almost see through it. And there's not a straight line. You don't want a straight line. And then just work that bead down the nail and add a bit more product if you need to, so that the white is white at the tip and thinner. Had another lumpy bit. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what it is. It's just must have been in the acrylic from something. Just trying to get it out. There we go. So yeah, just paint it down. Be really careful not to contaminate your monomer when you're working with white, because it's quite a sticky colour. So keep your brush really clean. And I'm just going to add a little bit more. Feather it back again because you don't want a harsh line, and then paint it down the nail. Nice and easy. Okay, onto the thumb. So I'm going in with Perfect Pink. These two do ombre really well. Again, I'm blending out the back of that bead, no harsh lines. Then I'm going to tuck it in at the sides because we don't want it rolling everywhere. And then I'm going to literally take the top of that bead and bring it over to blend it down. I'm using the underneath of my brush. I have a course, an ombre course, which goes into more detail and covers ombreing difficult colours, ombreing glitters and all sorts of things. You do get a certificate at the end of it as well, and it's really good value for money. I think it's less than 20 quid. I think it's about a tenner, 10 or 15 pounds, I can't remember. It's on my website anyway. But it covers like tricky ombres and yeah, lots of tips and tricks to help you. So I'm tucking in around the cuticle. The brush is really annoying me at this point, like really annoying me. And then just blend it through. And it's ombreed beautifully. There's no problem with it. I mean, it ombres absolutely beautifully. Just going to apply a little bit more at the cuticle. There we are. And then I think I went in, do I go in straight away? Yeah, I do. I went in with Utopia, which is a glitter mix acrylic from Nailmate, and it's got like little opal pieces in it, like little fragments. I just felt like it needed a sparkle, needed extra, but I didn't want that big bit. So yeah, I'm just going in with little bits and just blending it through. It's not for any other reason than I just felt it needed a little extra something a bit special. There we are. And the key with these kind of coloured acrylic, glitter acrylics is just to pick up small beads and play with it and work with it a bit wet so you can nudge it around. So I'm going to do the same on this one with the ombre and also the same on the finger next to it, but I won't show you everything because it would make this video so incredibly long. So I'm going to tuck it in at the sides, blend down the front of the top of the front of the bead. I hope that makes sense. And all the time I'm watching those sides, tucking them in because you don't want to completely lose your shape here. Now I'm going for a 3 bead on this purely because we're doing quite a long ombre and I only use a size 10 brush, so which is knackered. Can you see how bad it is? Oh, I don't even know how I got through this set. I'm cringing just watching it. So bad. But I love him, so I can't really be cross. Pop on that cuticle bead. Now the Eliana hand is very delicate. It's not a bulky hand, it's a very delicate hand. It's got nice small cuticles but long nail beds. They're not fat fingers, they're slim fingers with elongated, beautiful, elegant long nail beds. They're like the perfect hand model. You don't want chubby fingers, do you, on your hand models? And like big massive hands, you want them like elegant, like the perfect hand model. I've got chubby fingers, mine don't work very well. But they look oh, just like a hand model. So now I'm gonna have to encapsulate that whole nail because I've added extras to it. So I'm just gonna work through with clear acrylic and work my way up the nail, trying to control that shape all the time because then there's less filing to do. Constantly just trying to control, add a little bit of monomer down there just so the bead flows nicely and I don't get any frosting. And the opal flakes are a really good way of monitoring your capping because if they're capped, they will turn matte. So the rule of thumb is if it ain't matte, it ain't capped. And I do that with all glitters. It's my little saying. There we are, tucking in, round to the cuticle, blend it down, tuck it in, and then blend it down. Nice and simple. And then I'm going to check the shape. I'm going to check my angles. I can see there's a bit in the middle where there's a dip, and that's just because of the placement of the bead. So I'm going to make sure I fill that out. I'm going to make sure I even out the surface of the nail and make it nice and easy for filing. Yes. Obviously, say there's a bulky bit, I won't make the whole nail bulky just to fit it. Now, I've filed in the smile lines on the pinky and the index finger. And I'm going in with the Blizzard White. And I'm tucking it right in up. You can go up and over if you want. It doesn't matter. I didn't need to, so I didn't. But I do feel like these two colours are too close together to have a really crisp smile line. It just didn't pop. So I should have used a darker nail bed colour, and that's my error. There we are, look, tucking that in. I'm working neat because then there's less filing, basically. So I'm trying my best not to create too much mess. And then I'm going to add the opal flakes, Utopia, and I'm going to just kind of ombre them in a bit, blend them into the white and then ombre them down to the tip. The tip is slightly clear, but it's kind of frosted because there's a little bit of white there, a little bit of opal there. I wasn't going for like a crystal clear tip. I just wanted that subtle, gradual, silky, satiny kind of feel. There we are. Obviously they'll need to be encapsulated. So if you don't need to make an apex, you don't need to cap any further than the smile line. Like, you just go from the smile line down. Obviously, if your nail bed is too thin, then you'll need to create an apex with the clear. But you just judge that as you go. And remember, with the opal flakes, if it ain't matte, it ain't capped. The two central nails are the same as the thumb. Ombre, opal flakes and capped. So I've showed you one, so I thought, well, I don't need to show you them all. So, as if by magic, here we are filed into shape. Very pretty. Now, I'm going to start working on the thumb first. And I love a thumb, right? I love the thumbnails, I always do. So I decided to make this a feature nail. And I'm going to do some really small, I've obviously sped it up and cut out the waiting times, but I'm going to do very, very simple flowers, just 3 petals, done very simply. I'm using the flat of my brush to flatten it and the side of my brush to pull it out. Place the bead, wait for it to mattify, depending on your system or depend on the time. And then once I feel like it's ready, I'm going to use the flat of my brush to flatten it out and the side of my brush to pull it down. And you can make little indentations if you want to give it a realistic texture. It's entirely up to you. Flatten it, pull it out. Little indentations here and there, but nothing too fancy. And I do that 4 times on this nail. I just dot them about on the nail. Very, very simple to do. So again, flat of your brush to flatten it, and then side of your brush to pull it out. Otherwise you'll end up with like a round shape like that, which you might want. You might want round petals. I kind of wanted slightly pointy petals. So here we are, that's all the petals in place, and now I'm going to add a tiny SS3 AB crystal into the centre of each flower. The only crystals I've used in this whole design are these ones, and it just goes to show you don't need to have everything. So after that, I decided to use exactly the same crystals to do some little trails coming off of the flowers and just kind of make them look more ornate, you know, little swirls. And it's quite simple, just a little bit of adhesive, then crystals. Just don't, if you put too much adhesive down, you won't get the crystals on in time. So, and that's why I did not top coat the nail first, because I knew I was going to apply crystals and they'll just go all over the place with top coat. So although normally you do 3D on top of top coat, I didn't. I did it the other way around. It makes top coating tricky, but it makes this so much easier. So that's that done. I did the same on the middle finger there, as you can see. Just not quite as many flowers because it's a smaller finger. Here I'm just going to do a little cuff using exactly the same crystals. So, you know, you don't have to have every single shape or size. Just as long as you've got some that are quite, you know, small, you can do quite a lot with them. Anything up to like an SS8 is quite small, and then once you go like 10, 12, that's quite medium. 16 is massive, so 16 is more like a feature piece. But these SS3s worked beautifully. There we go, and just do a couple more. So I did a cuff using 5 of them, very, very dainty. And I think I did the same on the pinky as well, if I remember rightly. Now it's top coat time. So I'm using Madame Glam's No Wipe top coat. I should remind you, there's going to be a special link. I'm using their Ultra Liner as well. There's going to be a special link and a special code in my description box. Madame Glam have an academy that focuses on gel polish, obviously. And I've got a 15% off voucher for you. So if you would like to do any of the Madame Glam courses in their academy, then you can get 15% off that. I also have a 30% off for Madame Glam gel polishes in general, so I will put that code in as well. I don't do gel polish courses, so if you're looking to train and you love Madame Glam as much as I do, because it's bloody amazing, then yeah, now's a good opportunity to get a course at a discounted rate. And it's not just beginners, like it's design work and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. So this top coating is painstaking, so I've skipped it, but I basically go around everything with a detailer brush. Absolutely everything. Here I'm just doing a simple top coat, and then I'll tuck in around the crystals with the brush. But as you can see, I just feel like the difference between the white and pink was not apparent enough. I feel like I should have used a deeper nail bed colour to make it a bit more contrasting, but at the same time the subtlety is like sheer, it's romantic, it's silky, so it's kind of very Valentine's bridally, very subtle and nice. Still extreme length though, of course, darling. And just a simple top coat on here, no bling. I want the design to speak out, and it does, it looks beautiful. The middle one I will top coat again off camera just with a detailer brush because it's so much work. It took ages. Oliver's singing in the bath. I don't know if you can hear him. He's singing away. Right, there we go. I'm being very particular. I don't want to lose your shape at the top coat, so I will flash cure in between as well. How beautiful is that? Finally, we'll top coat the pinky. Madam Glam's no wipe top coat is the only one I use. I top coat everything in it. Hard gel, acrylic, Madam Glam gel polish, anything. I top coat in this. And their velvet matte is absolutely stunning as well. And I've tried a lot of matte top coat. So let me show you the final reveal. Here we are. So that's that beautiful thumb that we did. It would look cool on a matte background as well. I'd love to know if you would have had it matte or glossy. Let me know in the comments. This is the rest of the hand. I'll show you in two different lights. So this is in my light box, which is a bit tricky to film with. And this is just on my desk with my normal lamps. I really, really hope you've liked this video. Don't forget to share it, like, subscribe for more tutorials. Have a look at my courses and stuff in the description box and I'll link you to the products and I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye!